Loves During Vietnam War is the title of the memory book that has many short stories telling about the patriotism, family loves and romantic loves of a South Vietnamese fighter pilot and his girlfriend, written by Huy Quang.
An escape from jail. Every morning Lieutenant Kai rides his Honda to his squadron in Tan Son Nhut Air Force Base to report for duty. One day he was stopped by a military police officer at the main entrance due to an emergency alert sent out by Lieutenant General Tran Van Minh. The general's order was that no one was allowed to go in or out of the airbase. Being shocked at this alert, Kai sadly drove home. As soon as arriving home, he telephoned his fellow pilots to get more information. They told him that yesterday, a formation of 5 A-37s jets led by the disloyal pilot Nguyen Thanh Trung bombarded the airbase. Trung was the same one who had bombarded the Independence Palace 2 weeks ago. His purpose of this attack was to cause a political chaos in the government of South Vietnam. The National Security Agency later released Trung's personal record showing his father was a Viet Cong who died since he was a child. The communists changed his name and raised him until he was able to enlist in South Vietnam Air Force and became an F-5 pilot. After the President Duong Van Minh announced the surrender, Kai stayed in Vietnam and was forced to report to Viet Congs, the invaders of the South Vietnam. They later sent him to the Ham Tan re-education camp. One day during labor hours, Kai successfully escaped from the camp. He tried to run away from that place as far as possible. Until the next morning he was so exhausted. He knocked on the door of a Montagnard's house and asked for help. A Montagnard girl was about 20 years old. She opened the door and let him in. She gave him a drink and a couple of cassava roots. After eating that food, Kai felt better. Looking at the girl, he said, "Thank you." The girl asked,
"What happened to you?"
Kai was surprised when the Montagnard spoke Vietnamese fluently. Before he answered her question, he complimented her, "You speak Vietnamese very well." She replied,
"I frequently meet the urban people, and they taught me to speak their language."
He said, "I just escaped from the Ham Tan re-education camp." The girl said,
"Lucky you, my mom and dad just went to the rice field. My dad is the chief of this village. If he sees you, he would definitely report your presence to his superiors."
After a moment of hesitation, she said,
"All right, follow me. We could go to a place where I used to play hide and seek during my childhood. You could stay there for a while, at least a week, before going away."
Kai mumbled in saying thanks to the Montagnard girl. The hidden place was a small cave that located next to a stream. The gurgling sounds of water could block any noise from inside the cave. Every day the Montagnard girl secretly brought foods to Kai. His health was quickly recovered. Kai was enjoying seeing the beauties of natural landscape around the cave. He felt like living in a fairy world. After 2 weeks of hiding inside the secret cave, he emotionally said goodbye to the Montagnard girl and continued to go with his escape plan. He successfully arrived to his parents' home in Saigon. His parents kept silent about his presence. They quickly made a connection to a known source to take him out of Vietnam. On the midnight of an escaping day, Kai with 11 men, 19 women and 4 children got into a small fishing boat at a dock of Saigon River. The boat departed at 1 a.m. and was stopped by a Viet Cong patrol boat after sailing approximately half of a day. 4 of the 6 Viet Congs jumped on the escape boat. The helmsman stayed on the patrol boat with another one holding an AK-47 and watching for any resistance of the escapees. On the escape boat, a Viet Cong yelled, Everyone, stand up and raise your arms. The escapees glanced at each other. One man gave a signal to all other men. They immediately jumped over these 4 Viet Congs to take over their weapons. Luckily, one escapee was able to seize an AK-47 from a Viet Cong and immediately shoot 2 other soldiers stayed on their patrol boat. After a few minutes of fighting between escapees and Viet Congs, these escapees won. They shoved the Viet Cong bodies into the ocean, got the fuel and foods from the patrol boat. Since they successfully arrived at a beach side of a refugee camp in Philippines, Kai lived in the refugee camp for a while before he was permitted to come to America. After years of hard working, Kai was able to save some money. He came back to Vietnam to visit his parents and gave them some money to thank them for raising and educating him. After that, he came to a village of Montagnards to pay a visit to the Montagnard girl who had helped him after his escape from the Ham Tan re-education camp. When the Montagnard girl saw Kai, she immediately embraced him tightly, laid her head over his shoulder and emotionally said,
"After you left here, I got married and gave birth to a boy. He looked exactly like you."
After being silent for a moment, Kai gave all the money left in his pocket to the Montagnard girl in appreciation for providing him the hideout after his escape from Ham Tan re-education camp and also for raising his son. Kai would never forget a loving relationship with her in a short period of time where the outcome was that they have a child whom he did not have a chance to meet. Written by Huy Quang.